Well, you've been mentioning how defenders are very important here. We're going to bring in Alessandro Del Piero now as we talk about a couple of the defenders who have been linked with Chelsea. One of them's Matthijs de Ligt. Many of us have heard that rumour. But then we're also hearing now that perhaps de Ligt is going to be too expensive for Chelsea. And so they're going to turn their attentions to Kalidou Koulibaly. Alessandro, welcome in. What are your thoughts on both of those players coming into Chelsea, or at least one of them? Who'd be the better fit?
I think they are the best defenders that we have in Italy, and definitely both of them can fit perfectly in this transfer. I believe maybe Koulibaly, because he's a little bit more expert in some things. Probably 51% Koulibaly, 49 de Ligt. On the other side, I hope nothing gonna happen, because if you take down these two players for their team, Juventus and Napoli is going to be really, really in trouble.
It's interesting to see, isn't it? Because you're talking about a defender who's coming up to 23 years old and a 31-year-old as well there. Does that matter?
Well, it matters in terms of what a transfer fee would be. Certainly for the 31-year-old who was muted to go into Liverpool a couple of years ago or whatever, and a very good defender, big, powerful guy, a lot of experience. I suppose on the other side of the coin, although de Ligt's got a lot of experience and even did so as a teenager, playing for Holland, going in there alongside Thiago Silva and having, even with his experience in Italy and Holland and international football, be invaluable to have somebody like Thiago Silva beside you going to a new club, just guiding you through. So I think ultimately he would be the better long-term signing for Chelsea if they could get it done.
Stevie, are you interested yourself to see that we just keep hearing these attacking options for Chelsea when it should be more of a focus on defenders?
I find it incredible. At the very least, you've still got players available to you, even though last year we complained that they were inconsistent. We're talking about Pulisic and all the other guys. I mean, did they not realise that you can't win anything of any importance unless you've got, an attack, but you need a defence, and you certainly can't win the Premier League or the Champions League without a strong, solid back line. Just look at Liverpool. Liverpool 4 or 5 years ago were fantastic going forward, scoring lots of goals, but they couldn't defend to save their lives. And what they did was they go out and they get Alisson and Van Dijk, and a couple of years later, they're Premier League champions and European champions. So I'm not quite sure where Chelsea's at, but I mean, their first protocol has to be the back line, because you can't go and win the Premier League and expect to score 3 and 4 goals every time you step on the field, because you're going to let 3 and 4 in at the back. I mean, it's madness. And as far as de Ligt is concerned, to be honest, if I'm anybody with any sort of pace in any team in the Premier League, I can't wait to face de Ligt and Silva, because neither of the two of them are particularly great at getting around. Listen, the fact that Rudiger is going to be so missed is because of his athleticism and his bit of pace and all that. Nothing to do with playing football. So de Ligt and Silva as a pair at the back, my goodness, there's not a lot of physicality is the wrong word. There's not a lot of mobility there, in my opinion.
Who's still with us? Jules or Rogge on this one? Bearing in mind we keep talking about these front men coming in, guys, is Thomas Tuchel driving this transfer strategy at Chelsea? Because we know Petr Cech's left, Granit Xhaka's left, Bruce Buck's gone. Is Thomas Tuchel getting his word across to the ownership, Augie?
Well, he's certainly been consulted, but I do wonder, because when clubs are taken over by new owners, they often get a lot of advice from people that maybe shouldn't be given advice. Certain agents want to get their claws in a little bit and try and have influence. So I do wonder whether the new owners are being advised by this kind of person, the agent that will advise on certain players and certain favoured clubs that might want to do deals. Tuchel will have a say, obviously, but when you've got a new owner, a novice regime, it's ripe to be taken advantage of. And I've seen it before, we've all seen it before, and we'll see what happens at Chelsea. But I do think that it'll be interesting to see what sort of players they sign, where they sign them from, and who they look to have to buy. That's probably the best way to put it.